All right, Lala. All right. Hi, everyone. Another snafu. There's a surprise. All right. Let's see. All right, we are live. Are you guys there?
We are comedians at this point.
All right.
Well, I can see us, so we're definitely live.
Okay, great. All right, we have 3 people watching. That's wonderful. Okay, if you could kind of check in a little bit and just let us know that you're there. Leave a leave a quick chat just to let us know that you can see us. If there's any issues or anything with the video quality or sound or anything, please let us know.
Right, definitely.
So why don't you open that up? So
video quality or sound or anything, please let us
turn it all the way down.
Yeah, definitely.
There we go.
It's a little delayed.
All right.
Okay.
Best if you turn it that way.
Right. All right.
All right, we got some people. That's great.
Right.
All right, we're going to fiddle around with this a little bit, and I think we'll be okay. Let's see.
Chris Scully, hi from the UK. Wow, you're up late. Hopefully I got the time right.
How's everybody doing? Just let us know, and let us know how you're doing. We're just kind of checking on things here.
Right.
Heidi's looking
Abernathy Monsoon says hi from San Diego.
All right.
Hello from Athens, Greece, from
Wow.
Stamatis. I'm not going to say her last name just because I don't want to butcher it. 56 Crown Vic said hello.
Yay, yay.
Wow. Yeah, we have a few.
We have a bunch of people,
Hello from Madison, Wisconsin to Bern.
All right.
Yay, and I'm glad that you have good sound. Yeah, we got all set up again and we went live, and you'll see there's probably a really short video out there that we forgot to hit public on.
This stuff is just so far beyond us, I think.
Right. Hello from Germany. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Everything seems to be working just fine.
Right.
You know, it's funny. The whole YouTube setup is kind of goofy, and it says we're live, and then down below it says it's offline. And for some reason on this particular app, I can't pull up any chats at all on it. It's just, this is just always a fun.
You have to keep open the window for the actual browser to see everybody's questions, which is why I have my phone.
Yes. Well, I do have that, and it's just chat is disabled for this live stream. That's what I mean.
That's
it's
the
just,
old one.
Well, how do I get the new one?
I don't know. That was the one that we...
Oh, well, any rate, we have it on the phone.
I have it on the phone.
Okay. All right, everyone. Welcome to our live chat. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope everyone's doing okay in their various versions of lockdown.
Right.
So just a real quick recap here. We're under sort of rules that haven't been well defined, actually. It's called safer at home, which is a little nebulous.
Right.
So really, basically, the idea is just pretty much stay in your home unless you need to. If you want to exercise, don't go too far away, that sort of thing.
You can't go to in between counties.
Right, they'd rather you didn't. Exactly.
Going in between counties, so, I mean...
Right.
We can't do the Porsche Breakfast Club or...
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is all the
just,
events have been canceled. I noticed that...
I mean, they wouldn't support it anyway, but yeah.
That West Coast holiday, the 356 West Coast holiday, got pushed out a full year. Right. So it's the same time and same sort of basic weekend, but just a year in 2021. So that's pretty much what's happening around here. That people are I don't know if they're relaxing much. It still feels pretty weird. We haven't been out driving.
We still have really clear looking skies.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We have a beautiful view of downtown.
Right.
Because
We
there's
actually
no smog.
can see as far as, well, Jerry's on, one of our patrons is on, and he lives way down there, and I can actually probably see you way down there now.
Yeah.
It's so clear.
It's so clear. So
yeah.
The weather's been great. We had some kind of weird cold weather again, and then it's starting to warm up. I've been working on a video for swapping out the fuel lines on the 3.2 Carrera, and that has been a bear. The project itself is pretty difficult. It's a long story. Watch the video. It'll be out very shortly.
Right.
But getting the parts was, I think, probably the most difficult part, wouldn't you say?
I mean, I think this is going to be expected for anybody that's working on classic cars.
Yeah.
But one of the parts, well, we won't spoil the video.
Yeah, so we've had some issues with the parts and stuff.
But
so
that's why it's been
it's pushed the video out.
many weeks that we.
Yeah.
I went and looked at it and I was like, oh, our last video before our last one was another live stream, and I was like, when was that? It was like a month ago. So, but yeah, we've had some hiccups, and we do apologize, but. You know, sometimes it just it stops you dead in the water.
It really does.
And we could go and do other videos for other cars, but we'd rather not break up the 911 series. So
we're trying to stay consistent with it.
Right.
Yeah, I think we went astray a little bit by when we had the 356 car in, the little C car in. Mm-hmm. I think we kind of went astray a little bit. It's a good thing that we did the work on the car, because it was a mess, and he wanted to take his kids around in it, and it didn't have brakes, and it looked like it was going to catch on fire. So we got all that sorted, and so I felt really good about it, but I think it kind of messed up the videos a bit. So.
Right. I mean, I think it's nice if you can keep things going, but I mean, we'll probably have some of that once the car goes to paint and possibly dealing with a transmission. We'll have to put some other videos in between, but that is what it is. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're trying to stay consistent, but it does push things out a little bit.
Right.
We do have some other big news. You can kind of see it behind us a little bit. I'm going to show you, once we get a little bit further into the chat, I'll show you all the parts that came back. So that's pretty sweet, too. So what do we got, Heidi? What's going on?
So we have quite a few more people on now.
Okay,
so
great.
That's
Yay.
awesome.
Loud and clear. Oh, that's good to know.
Right, yeah.
Okay, good.
Happy to hear that. So yeah, I know I'm sorry to the European community for it being 11 midnight,
yes,
whatever.
It's so hard to schedule
probably
these
depending
things.
where it is, but we're trying to do it. We actually had it. I think I did a survey, and I think it was going to be for 5. And then I decided to push it back to 4 because I figured at least it was 11 o'clock for Europe.
Yeah.
Because, last time we couldn't get hardly anybody on because we had to do it after work.
Yeah,
and
that was a thing.
that was closer to 5 or 6 o'clock,
right.
I think. So,
and if you remember, in the last
it's 1
stream,
a.m. for Europe.
in the last stream, it was snowing outside. So our weather's just been kind of nutty. But so we have any questions?
Somebody's here about your RC plane collection, Gregory.
Oh, okay.
Atlantic City. New Jersey.
Well, let's start with that real quick.
Right.
So my father was an airline pilot, and my parents were divorced, and we lived in South Florida, and he would come down once a month. He would fly down, and we would go try to do things, and it got really, really boring. My little brother and my dad and I, it just got super boring after a while. How many times can you go golf or bowling or whatever, or something stupid? So we saw somebody flying airplanes, and since my dad was a pilot, that seemed like a good thing to do. And so we all started building airplanes and learning how to fly them, and we crashed an enormous number of them.
Right.
But it was something that was really fun that I could do with my dad, and it kind of stuck, actually. And so all through middle school and high school ages, those sorts of ages, I was building very crappy airplanes and things, but it was really, really fun. And then I got a degree in aerospace engineering at the University of Florida. And then I picked up the model airplane thing, I don't know what, maybe about 15 years ago or something, remember?
You were always doing it when I met you. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So I've been building a lot of airplanes, and I find it very therapeutic. So it's a lot of fun. You're just basically gluing little sticks together.
Right.
And covering them in these colorful plastics and things. But they're great fun, and I really, really enjoy it. My favorite are the old timers, the big airplanes from the 30s and 40s, the free flights. And I've got 3 of those, I think. So I love those.
Okay, so we actually have a question from somebody named Vincent.
Okay.
He wants to know, he has a 2202. I think he meant 2002 Boxster.
Okay.
32,000 miles. When should I worry about the IMS?
Yeah, 32,000 miles. That's actually pretty low mileage for a car like that.
It has to do with how dried out it gets, right?
No, it has more to do with how much it's actually used. So they find that the IMS bearings seem to go out on the cars that have less usage. A lot of times at about 60,000 miles, it's time for a clutch anyway. So it's a good idea when you're going to do the clutch, you got to pull the, on that car, you pull the engine, pull the transmission out. You replace the clutch and put it all back together. That's a great time to do the IMS. So I know it feels weird. The thing is that there's almost no failure indications. At least when it happens pretty quickly. Check your oil. So as you do your oil change, make sure you cut your filter apart, pull it all apart, all those pleats apart, and look for anything shiny in there. That'll be your first indication.
Yeah, but they're at a point now where how much would it be to get the IMS done versus just buy a new? I guess it would still be cheaper to redo the IMS. I was thinking values of them are coming down.
Well, not that much. It's about $3,000, and a 30,000 mile Boxer is going to be on the higher end of the.
Okay.
So I don't know. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it in your oil changes, and if you're feeling kind of weird about it, have your oil change intervals as well. Do it twice a year, and just check that filter. So that would be my. That would be my suggestion on that.
You have plenty of videos where you cut open the filter.
Yeah. So just cut it open, take a razor blade, cut it apart.
Of that, maybe not that. Well, maybe it is that exact year. Dave's was a 2000.
Yeah, it was. I think it was an S. Yeah.
The yellow Boxster.
Yeah.
So just go watch her video on that. Yep. Okay. So, Ekelin, yes, you're the one that has you have a 997. I thought you had a 996 Ekelin, or it looked like mine, I thought, but maybe you got a different car. So from Norway. I don't know what time it is in Norway. Is it 11 there too, or is it midnight? Or yeah, pretty late. Sorry about that. Trying to get everybody so that even if somebody was on from Australia, that they could be first thing in the morning on Sunday. So, all right.
What else we got?
Pat's Garage Online. Hey Pat.
Hey Pat, how are you?
Hey, yeah.
So what else have we got? So one question, what is your opinion on using modern and more reliable peripheral parts?
Jack Shaheen's on. Hey.
When working on a classic, like braided lines. That's a good question, actually. So do you use upgraded parts, or do you get the exact Concours original part?
I guess it depends on the car.
Yeah, so it does a lot. But here's the thing. The original parts, even if Porsche is still making them, they may not be suitable for the modern fuels, the alcohol and the fuel thing.
Right.
So that's one thing to consider. And we've also found that some of those parts don't really look as original, strangely, because the Porsche or anybody else is going to contract out another manufacturer to get those things built to the old specs. So, and they can be pretty darned expensive. I don't see any problem with using modern stuff unless you are really hell-bent on Concours.
Yeah, if you're doing a show.
It's a show.
We actually got knocked down on our Ferrari for having, I think it was the actual original manufacturer, but they had changed the color of some wiring from...
Yeah, it was fuel line.
Or fuel line from green to blue. Or
Yeah.
But we got knocked down on... I mean, almost... Yeah. Whatever.
I mean, that's the thing. So it's not going to work for Concours, but it's probably a little better quality. Somewhat. I mean, some of these manufacturers, I try to stay away from anything that's colorfully anodized. To me, just kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of silly. But the braided lines and things, if you think they're better and they're superior, then by all means, go for it.
Somebody saw 356 this morning and they thought of us.
Aw, that's very sweet.
Thank you,
very sweet.
Rose. That's very sweet. So, braided lines. Hi from the UK. This is from Richard. I've owned a 964 for 11 years, and I've learned a lot from your videos. Thank you both. Oh,
great. Yay.
Jack Shaheen wants to know if you can fly your helicopter inverted.
I cannot.
No. Yeah.
My helicopter,
we
the one I
have
have,
a friend that actually can do it. That's in the Model Airplane Club.
My helicopter is very, very old.
Yeah.
So it's from the 80s actually, and it's incredibly manual. And back then, there's no way those things would fly upside down. But the new ones, of course, do. But I got to about where I could hover it, and that was about as far as I got with it. It's a very difficult beast to actually fly.
Yeah, John Kingery wants to know if his 997 really needs brake fluid every year. I guess it would depend on where you live, right?
Well, no, and I think the service interval
Probably
on that is
every other year.
every other year. And it's really more about moisture in the system.
Right.
So you can take a look at it. If it looks like it's
Ours
kind
went
of...
for a little longer than even 2 years, I think.
Yeah, well, it's very,
Yeah.
very dry here. So,
Yeah.
and it depends, of course, on how you're using the car as well. So if you're using it quite a bit and that fluid's heating, cooling
Right.
a lot, and cycling a lot, well, maybe a little more often. But 2 years has got to be plenty, I would think, for most climates.
Yeah, right. Definitely. Aloha from Hawaii. Oh, awesome. We have Harlan on from Hawaii.
Oh, hi.
Really enjoy your channel. We really enjoy Hawaii.
Yeah.
Wish we could go there.
Hawaii's awesome.
Hawaii is awesome. Theo said the braided fuel lines that Porsche sells are suitable for modern gasoline. I
Oh, good.
drive them in my Thing.
Oh, good.
You have a Thing?
Yeah, I love the
That's a
thing.
cool
Thing's a
looking
cool car. Yeah, that's a lot of
I
fun.
know. That
Well,
was
that's
the
good
cool
to know.
thing about our little coffee and cars, which I wish it was a little more popular because we got to see our subscribers' cars.
Yeah, that was a lot of
They
fun.
would send in, but it just didn't go over real well. So unfortunately.
All right. Well,
So Richard says, I only have one lift in my garage and would be extremely interested how and when you service your lifts. Enjoy the shows.
you know, as far as servicing the lifts go, I don't really do all that much for them. I do
Right.
grease the stops, I guess, on the side and the nylon blocks that the whole thing rides up and down on because they'll start to squeak and squawk. So I'll throw some either white lithium grease or some silicone spray on them, and that quiets them right up. I do check on the cables. Since you're underneath there, just go ahead and check on the cables and make sure that they're not fraying or you don't see any type of, problem with that, definitely. And I did have a problem with one.
We did have one.
Yeah, so because of the inclination of our driveway and therefore our pad in our garage, as the actual rails were going down, they would kind of rotate at the end, which left the lines in the front pretty loose. And what happened was it actually knocked itself off the pulley and got jammed underneath the pulley. It was I had to actually lift it up with a jack to get it up high enough to get the cable out. Yeah, it was a pain. If you look at it, it's got a small kink in it. So I keep a really close eye on that now that I've had that problem with it.
We had one of the like motors or something go bad.
Right, so we had a motor go back.
They were like, they never go bad, and we're like, well,
Yeah,
ours
they did for us. That was,
Yeah, we had 3 of them, and only one of them failed, so
and there wasn't anything we could do about that. There's a little,
it was still under warranty.
right, there's
Yeah.
a back flush policy or little procedure you can do for it. You can, so as you're lifting it, you also lower it at the same time, and it causes the fluid to sort of clean that whole system out, but it didn't do any good. But other than that, they're pretty maintenance free. I really haven't had any problems with them.
Right.
They seem to work pretty well.
I love them.
Yeah, they're great.
Because we can have 6 cars instead of 3.
Well, I like them because
Right.
it makes it so much easier. So today I was working on the Ferrari, the 308, and with all these parts that came
Got
back,
some more stuff coming.
there was one little cross pipe that didn't get done when we had all the Ferrari work done. So it's just a little exhaust cross pipe, and it needed to be ceramic coated. So I was putting that up today, and I can't imagine how much of a pain in the buns that'd be if you were climbing underneath the car and all that. So having it up on lift, awesome, so cool, so good.
Justin sorry, no S. He wants to know if on the intake stuff back there, did you get the airflow meter rebuilt?
No, I didn't. All those parts looked really good back there, and I didn't think it really needed it. You can put a multimeter on them and sort of test them, and I did that for the switches and a lot of the stuff on there, and everything checked out just fine. Also, I didn't have any problems when we took the car apart. So once again, it wasn't for the engine, it was for the transmission. So this is supposed to be just a refresh. So I cleaned everything really well, the airflow meter and stuff, or the airflow guy back there, and checked it really carefully and cleaned it. It wasn't even that dirty, actually. The one on Heidi's turbo was super dirty compared to this one. And that makes sense because of the blow pass from the turbos, but it was actually really clean. So I just cleaned it up a little bit, checked it, and put it back on.
Okay. I actually have some other questions. Where did I do it? The notebook. Okay.
Yes, so we had, we put up a post
a couple of people that couldn't make it.
Yes.
Eric de Reuter, he had one.
Oh, yeah?
You did a small change on the 356 as an LED rear lights.
Okay.
Are there more changes like this on the 356 and other cars?
So those tail lights that I put on, those LED tail lights from, what are they called? CU Layer was the name of the company that makes
Right.
those. Those are very specific to the teardrops, and they do make the round ones for the beehives. But as far as the headlights and the other bulbs, I suppose you can just put LED bulbs in. You can get replacements now for just about everything.
Right, and we had that, and Joe Leone makes that relay for the headlights.
Right, so when we installed
So
that
we
as
did
well.
install that.
But you can get LED headlights for the cars as well. A little controversial because their light pattern's a little strange. But you can get H4 and
It's
H5.
controversial?
Yeah, because when you the lights on modern cars are very specific in their pattern, so they don't blind oncoming cars, and they have a very specific pattern as well. And if you just throw on super bright lights on the front of your car, you can just blind people coming towards you if they're not really set properly.
That wouldn't be very good.
No, and that gets people very
Right,
upset.
right.
So, but at the same time, it's great to be able to be seen in those cars as
Yeah.
well. So there isn't that much else you can do. In fact, the car doesn't have that many lights on it. So, it has one dome light. It has the two lights up front, two lights in the back, and then the headlights.
And we did
That's it.
the reason why we did them on the back of Ava was we weren't sure about the availability of being able to put that third, required.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Tail light, but those tail lights are so bright.
Yeah.
Which is helpful. At least hopefully people will see the rear end of that car better. But we don't drive Ava a lot at night anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, most of our class, even the Ferrari is kind of a nightmare to drive at
They're
night.
just tough to see
Right.
at night. And I don't think people are really looking for them. They're looking for something much bigger and taller. And so,
Yeah, if you were to see our Ferrari far away, you'd be like, what is
headlights
are those?
And they're
I mean,
really low, so they
Right,
don't
it's just
have a
like-
good pattern.
Right.
So that's a little sketchy at night as well.
Right, anything without airbags, and yeah, probably.
So
Okay, so Michael Ackerman wants to know, what should I look for if I want to buy a VW Beetle to drive around town?
that's a great question. We've had a couple of questions like this, huh?
Right, definitely.
All right.
I
So
want to keep my eye on any new ones
right.
coming in here too.
Beetles came in a few different flavors, the early ones and sort of the mid, and then the super Beetles towards the end. And it depends on, it depends on how much work you want to do on your car and how important having a older, almost antique-y kind of Beetle would be, one of the split rear windows or something like that, if that sort of thing's important to you. But as far as just a driver to drive around town, I would suggest like a 71, 72 Super Beetle, great year, without fuel injection. The fuel injection was just a mess on those cars, just with a nice Solex carburetor on it. They're easy to work, easy to tune. So things to check, which was another question I think we had at one point, was what do I look for? How do I know it's a good car? Well, you gotta have to do the same basic sorts of things, right? You have to do a leak down test on it, or compression test would be good. Drive it around. Does it smoke on acceleration? Does it smoke on deceleration? That'll tell you whether it's rings or valves. Does it pull away well? Does it snap out of gear? That they have a kind of a bad thing where you'd be in second gear and you let go, keep it in second gear, and you just let go of the accelerator and go pop, pop, and pull itself right out of gear. That means second gear needs to be replaced. It's just the drive dog's not staying put. So that's one thing. Check the brakes. Make sure when you hit the brakes that the car stops straight and quickly. You should be able to lock up the wheels on those cars.
There's probably a lot of things to look for. You don't want to have any rust on the car.
Rust. So
that's
good
just-
point.
it's a-
Yeah, look at the high stress areas in the back where all the suspension is mounted and all that. And same thing up front. if it's torsion bar with the older cars or if it's McPherson with the Super Beetles, just make sure that all the mounts look good and that there isn't a bunch of rust. And they get it in certain places. Those floorboards on the side should be pretty solid. They shouldn't be all wonky and about to fall off.
It could be all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Franny was sold a car that had sawdust in it once.
Yeah, so this was my second car I ever had, which was a 72 Super
I think we
Beetle.
probably told that in another live stream.
Yeah, and so they had put this guy was not very. He was a really bad mechanic, and he had put sawdust in the transmission to quiet it up.
Unethical, right?
He was unethical.
Right.
And that will quiet up noisy bearings. And after a while, of course, that just chews it up even worse. And I had the whole thing rebuilt, and the guy who rebuilt it handed me the main bearings, and they were just, it sounded like, it just sounded like there were rocks in there. It was terrible, very pitted. So listen put it in neutral, and when you're not moving, let go of the clutch. You shouldn't hear any additional noise in the transmission. If you do, the main bearings in there could be bad. Get a service history. When's the last time all the oil was done and all that?
And it's worth taking it to a shop.
If you can't do this yourself.
If you can't do it and you're not certain, go to a trustworthy shop in your area and have them check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done that on a lot of our Porsches. It's just a pre-purchase inspection, which I think should be done on any classic cars if you can.
Totally.
I mean, it's not foolproof. We've obviously run into our own issues, but it's it's a starting point. They'll let you at least know certain things that you can negotiate with when it comes to buying it. And if the seller doesn't want to let you do that, then
that's usually
not a good sign either.
Yellow flag.
So,
And then the final thing I would say would be to do your research, get on the forums, get on Samba, and start poking around a bit. In fact, it's a great place to find a good car as well. But
like the 993s had a harness recall or something.
Yeah,
just weird little things. Like if you get familiar with the particular year that you're looking for of a certain car.
Yep, that's super important.
Gotchas.
And then John Murr's book, How to Keep Your Volkswagen Alive.
Right.
Totally get that. Read it. It's a great read. Read it from.
It should be called the Volkswagen Bible.
It's really, really good. So that's a fun thing. It's a fun book to read.
Great book for any do-it-at-home mechanic. Just start out, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we have some more questions coming in here.
Okay, great.
Scroll. Give me a second. Sorry. Let's see.
All right.
Sorry. There's so my 87 was bucking and surging on-off throttle at very low RPM, parking lot speeds.
Okay.
So my what is APM? AFM.
Okay.
Was the issue. The wiper arm was going off the con.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. Then, well, I'll have to double check that and just to make sure that that's solid. But like I said, I haven't had any problems with that, but I have actually heard of that. So it's a great way to know that thing's just not sending a proper signal back to the computer. So.
Right. Ivan wants to know, have you ever thought about purchasing any 69 through 73 911 Ts? They seem pretty simple engine-wise.
Yeah, they do actually, and they're carbureted, I believe.
Somebody that has one that used to be at Coffee and Cars. He had a real nice one.
Did he? Those are great cars and easy enough to work on. Yeah, but that's the thing is they're kind of expensive.
They're
a lot
getting
of those
up
cars.
there in price.
But that'd be a great car.
Yeah, we would like one, but I don't think price-wise we could do that anytime soon. So okay, all right. Are there Beetles with air conditioning?
Yes.
Right.
Well, you can imagine what a poor little 60-ish horsepower engine does back there when something pulls 10 horsepower out of it just for the air conditioning, and it clicks on and clicks off. So a lot of those were aftermarket installations, I think, sort of dealership installations back in the 70s, and the air conditioning unit itself was up underneath the dash. So it required strong blowers, all this hose work. You have to have all the heat exchangers up front and then a big compressor in the back. I don't know. I think 98% of them.
power, right?
No, they don't. I think 98% of them got yanked out, to be honest. Get a sunroof, and you've got those
Yeah.
wonderful butterfly windows on the side, and I always find that seems to work out pretty well. I know it gets pretty hot. I grew up in Florida, so I understand, but I don't know.
Or cab, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it's really, air conditioning's really a good fit on those poor little things.
Sean Hunt wants to know what you think of the Mercedes-Benz R107. I actually am not that.
I'm not familiar with it, to be honest.
I was just,
107.
a friend of ours just got Mercedes-Benz, and he had sent us a photo. It was from 1969, and I was sending him some photos of ones that I think that we had, which I think was, I want to say it was like a R108, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, then you know more than I do.
I don't know. I really don't know. We don't know that. We haven't worked on Mercedes, but
I've never owned one before.
I loved that car. I was really mad at my dad when he sold it. It was a diesel, so if you can imagine, he had 2 daughters, and we would go on these road trips, and a diesel car in the 70s, just going up these, mountain passes in Colorado, it would just not go very fast.
No, it's
So
pretty hopeless, huh?
yeah, and I think he would daily drive it a lot. So I remember him dropping me off at school, and it would literally have to sit in our driveway and warm up for a long time because it was diesel. But I think some of the classic Benzes are really cool. We had talked about what was the one that we were thinking about getting a long time ago, but then they got really expensive.
190 SL, yeah.
Right.
But then those got super duper expensive, so that went out the window. They're
Benzes
cute
are
though.
pretty.
Yeah.
The newer ones are mostly the shift-o-matics or automatics now. So, I mean, like a newer one, I don't think we would be that interested in, but the older classic ones are really cool. So, okay, a lot of people are talking about brake stuff, so sorry guys, I'm just kind of skimming over that stuff and not talking about brakes and stuff. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing those comments. So.
Do you have any recommendation for a code reader?
Oh, there's a couple of good code readers that you can get that will just hook up with your phone. I hate to push you off onto other channels, but Chris Fix has one that he uses a lot, and Chris Fix does wonderful work, and he's super smart with that stuff. And he always takes one of those when he does a PPI on a car he's going to buy.
Right.
He does it himself, and he'll plug that guy in there and check for codes and things. So I can't remember what the brand of it is, though. Engineering Explained also has one that he really likes as well.
Those guys are friends. They probably have the same one.
So check out their channel, but it's really cool.
Right.
It just comes up on your phone. It Bluetooths to your phone, and it's a great way to monitor those codes. And a lot of those will let you reset several of them as well, like service indicators and
There's nothing
stuff.
wrong with referring people to other good YouTube channels. And I think that Chris Fix also has a pre-purchase checklist for purchasing a car.
He does. Yeah, he's got a couple of episodes on that,
Right.
and really great stuff. He goes through everything. It's really pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yep.
So, air conditioning for Beetles, $300 for the AC unit and $15,000 for the Type 4 engine, which is capable to deal with it. Just kidding. Okay, it's funny though.
Yeah.
Somebody named Alex, he said that Heidi and Franny love your videos. I've learned a lot from you both.
Okay.
I have a 1985 308 GTS.
Oh.
I suspect I have an intermittently working Digiplex ignition module. Is there any way to test this?
I read a thread on FChat about that, and the only way to really know for certain is to find one that you know to be good and to swap it out and see if the problem goes away. If it's intermittent, it's possible that some of the components have cold solder joints or have broken loose a little bit, and so they're not making a really good connection on the circuit boards. That is pretty hard to find. but you can take them apart and kind of work on them. They're very expensive to replace. They're kind of rare in hen's teeth. There is a place though, I remember reading that somebody said, oh yeah, there's a company that'll go through them and check them. So, and if yours is the Euro car too, so yeah.
Euro 3.8s are tough to find, yeah.
Yeah, they're super tough to find. You wouldn't want to, I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't want to screw it up. So if it's dead, it's dead, but if it's intermittent, it could just be bad connections. Now, interesting, on our car, when we got the car, the right headlight was like half as bright as the left. And I'm like, half as bright? That's weird. It either works or it doesn't. Well, I took the connectors apart and they were covered. They were just full of white corrosion. So I went through and cleaned them all, put them back together, and boom, the headlights were perfect after that. So there's a lot of that. Our turn signal works most of the time, but then sometimes it doesn't just because those connections are dirty. I found on this car that the electrical stuff is a little sketchy. Others have said that the fuse boxes are a mess as well. So if Birdman makes an upgraded fuse box for that car, so you can throw in kind of modern fuses, semi-modern fuses, and that would be a good place to start as well. You could just have a simple electrical issue, a wiring issue.
Mark do that with his.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Doing that. So somebody named Stemantis said he had to go to sleep because, you know.
Oh, because it's late. No,
yeah,
good night.
Good night, everybody that needs to go.
Yeah.
Sorry about it being so late.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, yeah, check out Chris Fix. Somebody said it there.
Yeah, definitely check him out. He's awesome.
He is awesome.
He's a nice guy, too. He works with hand tools in his driveway.
Right.
He doesn't have lifts. He doesn't have any fancy equipment. And
he never shows his face, so you don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, he never shows his face. It's kind of his shtick. So,
right. Let's see. All right.
Yeah.
So, Deer Creeker. So, I had a 1973 Super Beetle with factory air. Oh, cool. It was competent during times of strong
tailwinds downhill,
sea level.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I remember
so here
with those
in Colorado,
cars.
yeah, it's not gonna be so great.
Oh, and then the poor things, you know, it's just such a load on the engine, and then it just, the poor things overheat. And
somebody said if you want a Porsche related one, try the Durometric, and that's what a friend of ours, actually he's the one that used to have the yellow Boxster. He borrowed a Durometric from somebody so that you could check, what was it, the 997 or 996 that you were doing an oil change on?
It's a 986. I think it was it his Boxer or 997?
I thought it was the newer one.
Okay, the 997 4S. Yeah, so that's one of the only ways to set a lot of those codes is with that Durometric.
Right.
What's it called? Durometric.
I think so.
Yeah, those were great for those cars. The older ones, the 993s and the 964s require that Porsche hammer. They call it a hammer because it kind of looks like a hammer. It's a very specific tester for the OBD1 cars.
Oh.
So, yeah, so you can't really use it for that. But
that would work on our 993 though.
Yeah, if you had one, they're rare in hen's teeth and hard to get a hold of.
Right.
So,
cool.
Yeah. So you have another question?
We have two more questions.
Okay.
So Alex M asks, would you prefer a Porsche between 2005 and 2008 or an F-Type Jag, similar pricing? I'm assuming F-Type Jag.
It's going to be newer.
Maybe compared to maybe a 911 that's 2005 to 2008.
Yeah. Gosh, I know that's...
The one thing I remember about the F-Type Jag is the trunk being... Jeremy Clarkson saying something about, you know, barely being able to put some coffee creamer in there.
I think that was a convertible though.
Oh, maybe.
I think so.
Right, but
you know, the Jag sounds awesome. It just does. It sounds great. But our friend Daniel, Guy Supercar, had one that he was renting out on Toro.
Another good YouTube channel.
Yeah, you should check him out.
Especially for Ferrari content.
Yeah, Normal Guy Supercar. So he had one, he rented out on Toro, and he said that thing just drove him nuts. It was broken all the time. The Jag's broken again, over and over and over. So from a reliability standpoint.
So I don't know. I mean, you might want to go check out his videos because he probably would explain in more detail what broke on it and why. You know,
yeah,
you can't just say the car is junky because
No,
Could have been mistreated.
He did a full breakdown on all this stuff in one of his episodes, but
It ended up costing him a lot.
it did. And as far as Toro goes, I think it was a loss leader. I think he lost money on it. So.
Yeah.
But they sound awesome. They really do.
I mean,
they sound
it's
killer.
a cool car.
And they look great too. So.
But yeah, we kind of are Porsche girls, so I mean, we're gonna probably steer you towards Porsches just because we love
Porsches. And
Porsches.
Porsches have their problems too. Yes,
do.
They really do. So,
yeah, IMS, for example.
whatever you're kind of most comfortable with and what you think you can work on, because older car like that, that's lower in price, I don't think I'd want it in the shop a lot because it's just kind of not worth it. So, do as much work on it as you can. Maybe that would be a indication as to
so
which
Alex,
direction it goes
hopefully
well.
that helps you get your car, whatever car you're looking for.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds like fun. That's a fun choice.
So
Is that it?
Bugatti wants to know what would we do with another garage bay, another lift? Question mark. 2 more cars? Question mark.
Let's say we magically got.
Well, we wanted
another
to turn
space.
our living room is to me wasted space. So I wanted to like cut the wall up and put like 4 more
turntable.
Yeah, right.
Sure. Put a turntable.
For like 3 or
just
4
put
more
how the
cars.
356 is slowly
Franny's like, that
rotating.
would probably devalue our house quite in. So.
Well, anyway, if you were going to add, what would you say?
With our budget, we probably could only do Matchbox
No,
cars at this point.
let's say you've got enough money to, I don't know. Let's say you
Buy
could.
something.
Yeah, let's say you got about $100,000-ish between the 2
you've
cars.
talked about. I don't know. There's just so much. I mean, the new. Do you like the new electric Porsche?
Well, yeah, but that's
Taycan?
awfully expensive. Yeah, that would be great, but it's super
Previously
expensive.
owned, of course, and
Yeah.
it's not there yet because most of them
Okay,
are brand
so
new.
Heidi would add a Taycan. I would like to look at a Ferrari 355, and I know they have a lot of maintenance issues.
Yeah, somebody asked. I
but,
do remember that question. Someone wanted to know if we had driven a Testarossa.
I haven't actually.
No, we haven't. I've not even ridden in one.
No, we have a few friends who have them.
We do?
Yeah, we do. Yep.
Testarossa?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
know
we
who
do.
these friends are.
Well, we're in the Ferrari club, strangely. But I think that car would just be a little more than I could certainly handle. The engine work on it would be kind of crazy. The 355 is I know it gets a bad rap, and it is expensive to get repair work done on it.
It is.
But
If
the
you're a
engine
mechanic,
comes
it's
out.
not.
The engine comes out in a cage. So if you've got the right sort of shop and the right way to work on it, you can literally drop it pretty easily out of the bottom, do the belt service, and then put it back in. So that's kind of maybe doable. I don't know. That would be a car for me, I think. And I love the old Gias. So a Gia Cabriolet would be great from sometime in the middle 60s would be great.
Oh, that's true. We had talked about that. We've even talked about even a convertible Beetle. Classic convertible Beetle.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean that would be something that would be the Heidi and Franny's garage where Heidi actually restores it, not Franny, which would be quite entertaining.
Yes, that
Franny
would be
just be
interesting.
monitoring, but we don't have the space for it. We'd love it, but it'd be fun. Yeah.
Did you have any more questions?
I will see if we have any more. We need to keep this. We went way too long last time.
We did,
so,
yeah. So we're trying to stay close to an hour
next 10
this
minutes or
time.
so, let's see if we can get some questions wrapped up because we don't want everybody to, be falling asleep in Europe and stuff like that. So, okay.
All right.
Did you notice on somebody who's here from Abbotsford, British Columbia.
Oh, neat.
Hey.
Oh, fun.
Awesome. You're currently restoring your 74
Where are you reading?
SB right here. 74 SB.
Oh, I'm currently restoring. Okay.
Cool. I'm always excited to hear about people restoring
Yep.
things.
Restoring things. That's great. Yay.
So, okay, thank you so much for the information.
So Pat says he'd get a 355 also. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
Those things sound incredible, and you put a pretty much any type of exhaust on them, and they scream.
Abernathy Monson
something about
said that liked the idea of the Gia.
Yeah, isn't that a
it's
cool
an awesome
car?
car,
I
yeah.
love those things. They're just adorable. I almost bought one, but that was back in college. But it's just had so much rust. They have their battery in the back, so I think it's on the left rear haunch back there on the side. I think it's on the left side. And as they puke out acid and stuff, they just eat through that whole corner of the car. And this car had that issue. So
Esteban asks, "Hi Heidi, hi Franny. Any recommendations on which model year classic VW Beetle for someone who is interested in learning how to work on cars from scratch? Thanks, love the channel."
yeah, so once again, I would say late 60s, early 70s.
Kind of like Lemon Drop. Lemon Drop was a 69.
Yep.
Actually, Lemon Drop was scheduled right before the COVID stuff.
Right, so Lemon will be back.
Lemon will be back.
Yep,
we won't
yep.
tease you with that. We just don't know when.
Yeah, as soon as we can get
it's
it.
going to be a comfort level. Plus, once again, we really kind of need to get the 911 stuff project
kind of finished,
to a
or at least
point.
to a point where it's going to be chilling
right,
for a little while.
But we do have a oil change, and was there anything else?
Yeah,
going on?
we're swapping out the distributor on it.
Right.
Jerry, the owner, got a new distributor for it because I'm really not a
Right.
big fan of the one that's in there, that 009.
Yeah,
And-
Judy was on the last live stream.
Yeah. So we'll get that car out here and we'll do some other work, I think, to it. I think maybe we're doing a little brake work
Right.
and stuff too. Maybe at least flush the brakes and stuff. So
Unless he's given up on us and taken it to his other mechanic.
I hope not. We'll see.
Yeah, we hope
But,
not.
Yeah, I
Who
don't
knows,
think so.
There are car shops still open during
Yep.
the whole, COVID virus stuff, because that's mission critical.
Well, how are we
So,
doing? Because if there's any more questions,
That's pretty much it.
Is
We
it?
don't really have any other questions here.
all right.
If anybody else has any more questions, I think we'll kind of wrap it up, because we were trying to.
I want to show everybody. all
Oh,
this stuff.
right. Franny needs to do some show and tell.
So I want to do a little show and
Right.
tell here. What I'm
And
going to do
we're
is grab the
connected.
camera and I'm going to show you all the
We're
parts that
connected
came back.
together, so
Yeah. That's all right. I think we'll be fine.
okay.
Okay, so here we go. Hold on, everyone. Hope I don't make everybody sick here. All
You'll
right.
be fine. I just
Okay.
need to make sure cords don't
You
come
are
apart, and you're still.
flying through the air.
I
There's
still see
Heidi.
you.
All
Do you need me
right.
to move out of the way?
No, I'm fine.
Here, wait. This is.
Okay. All right. Well, there's the intake manifold back there. These are the parts we got back. Some are powder coated and some are plated. So this fan is always an issue. The thing's made out of magnesium and it's always a problem. And in fact, ours has, you can see some of that cracking down there. I don't know if that's coming through very well on the camera, but down there on that tab that's back there and these webs back here, boy, these poor things, they just kind of fall apart over time. So without replacing that, we went ahead and got it ceramic coated, and same thing with the fan. Hopefully that'll get it to last a little bit longer. I hope so. Otherwise we're going to have to replace it, and they're expensive. I think a new aluminum one, fan and shroud, is about $1,000. So we might have to do that. This is part of the engine mount here, and this is powder coated, and these parts look like they are brand new. Here's a piece of tin. Look at that. That's hard to believe that that's an original piece. It just looks absolutely
He does
perfect.
Great work.
Yeah, so they've
Absolutely beautiful
been
work.
completely clean, de-rusted, and they look great. These are more exhaust parts here, so these have been ceramic coated, which is really kind of neat. It's these parts, you remember what they look like when they came off. They were all rusted. If I bought one of these and they shipped it to me and it looked like this, I would think this part was brand new.
It
It
looks
looks
a
great.
lot like the exhaust. Actually, it's pretty close.
It looks great, doesn't it? And then the heat exchangers here as well for the heating system and the extractors. These guys look perfect too. They look great. The big, huge cover over here for the, this is for the catalytic converter. I did notice one thing. I just saw this as I was putting this down here today. I don't know if you can see this, but right here there's a little bit of a crack right here. So I'm gonna have to address that. I'm not sure exactly what I'll do with it, but
What is that piece?
it's a cover for the catalytic converter.
Oh, okay.
Here's a rear tin piece. And look at that. Boy, does that look nice. All that stuff just looks great. So we're really, really excited about all these parts that have come back. There's still more upstairs, air vane diverters for the cylinders and such, but wow, it's
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the shop where we had that done during the video.
yeah, we will. We'll
Putting it
explain all
together.
this a bit because they really were great and worked with us and everything.
Right.
So it's
Yep,
been
and
great.
for those of you who are local,
Yeah.
you know, it's a great shop to do powder coating and ceramic coating, which is kind of unusual. Ceramic coating isn't that easy to find.
It isn't. And as Daniel on Normal Guy Supercar found out, he had an exhaust system ceramic coated, and it didn't work out.
Ooh.
It was a mess, and they ended up having to
Right.
completely change it. So
Okay.
let me go ahead and put this back.
Oh, you're gonna put it back. So
Yep.
Okay.
Just all right.
this is always kind of fun with all of
all
our
right.
cords.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mess. All right, I'll put this back up here. All right, I hope everybody's okay here and wasn't too jiggly.
Right.
All right. All right, well, what do you say, Heidi? I think we're kind of at a point where we can maybe,
Pat's Garage Online says those parts look very nice.
don't they?
Very.
Yeah, yeah, they really did a great job on them.
So Jack Shaheen said, "I'd be afraid of getting them dirty."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they'll clean up as well. That's one of the nice things, certainly about the powder coating, is it's
People are saying that
super
they did a
duper
great
durable.
job. Yeah.
Durable.
They did an awesome job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parts look great.
We've been really pleased with a lot of the stuff that's gotten done on, you know, all of the refurbishing of the parts and powder coating and
Yeah.
and whatever the other.
The ceramic and stuff.
No, I
oh,
think
the plating.
The plating.
Ah,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I forgot the
Yeah.
word. for a minute.
No. So and the plating was great too,
Right.
and we've been really happy with Auto House AZ. They've been great
They've
sourcing
been
parts.
awesome.
They've been
yes.
amazing.
I have their shirt on
Oh,
today.
yeah.
So totally awesome.
Yeah, they've been
yeah, even if something doesn't go quite right, we get it resolved, which is great. They've been super awesome about everything.
Yeah, so big thumbs
I
up,
had a
big
friend
shout out
today
for them.
asking me about them, and I was like, yeah, definitely, we are very happy with them,
Yeah.
very much so.
All right, well, coming up, we've got to put this engine back together.
Right.
So we've got that. I got to get that engine bay in the car cleaned.
We should have an episode out this week.
Yeah,
so
we'll have an episode out in a couple of days for these
Right.
fuel lines, which I'll just finish up in the next day or so and get that out. Let's see. Oh, and then we'll be moving to the interior. So things are still a little bit in flux, but we'll probably end up keeping that wine color, I imagine, because it's
We're
just
on
going to
the
be.
fence about
we
that.
are. Let us
Yeah,
know what you
we
think. Let us know what you think of that wine color that we've got. It's a little weird. It's
I like it. Franny doesn't.
a correct color for the car.
Right.
It's just a little weird.
Right.
We'll
burgundy
definitely
wine, whatever color it.
right.
I don't know what the color.
Burgundy, I think, is what it's called.
Right.
We'll definitely recover the seats. We'll got to do that. So we'll get that done.
So tell them what you want to tell them what you want to do.
What I'd like to do, since the car is white and black with white wheels, what I wanted to do was the interior in white and black. So that would be white
Just
seats.
think of the white Tesla seats, and I think
Well, I know, but let me.
they're so white.
So white seats, black carpet, black dash, white door cards, but then the accents on the door cards would be black. So it'd be very white and black. And might be a little too 80s and might be a little, I don't know, a little too
it is an 80s car.
boy racer after all. So maybe that's just not the way to go. The wine or the maroon's maybe a little more classy. It's just that the carpet has like 18 different colors
Right.
because of the sun and blah blah blah.
Once this video goes live, go ahead and leave your comments.
Yeah, let us know
down
what you
below
think.
what you think about the car color.
Yeah, what should we do with that
Right.
car color?
Definitely.
And then we need to get to the exterior. We really need to paint the car, and that's going to be a big project to disassemble so many different things on the car and get that.
right. Taking it apart.
Yeah, it's going to be a thing. So, anyway, well, that's what's coming up with the car. And then in the end, I think it's going to be pretty sweet. We got to obviously put it back together
Right.
and send the transmission off to get
Now,
that done. So
and
we can get
we're
that done too.
Really, really close to cresting 25,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we're really close.
Really
Yay.
close. So
Yay.
if you know people that don't know about our channel, please share. Definitely share.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to get there. I mean, obviously, we're trying to get more subscribers, but yeah,
Always trying to grow the
definitely.
channel.
I'm so glad you guys were able to make it, especially for those of you who are having to stay up really late. It's
Yeah.
really, really nice to have everybody
Do we have any
online.
final questions? Anything finally coming up? Let's see. Anything
He's just saying everything looks really nice.
good? All right,
Yeah.
great. Let's see if
Yeah.
there's any last things we needed to hit. Yeah, the
German spelling of Autohaus, not the usual. Correct. Yes. definitely.
Haus. Yep. Mhm.
Right. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you so much
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
stopping by. This has
Right,
been great.
right.
Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, we've got a video coming out very shortly, so we'll get to that. And also, if you don't follow us on Instagram, go ahead and look us up, Heidi and Franny's Garage. We post there a lot as well.
Right. We post a Patreon as well. We
Yep.
have some Patreon subscribers.
Yep, we do.
and
So,
That's the only
Yep.
thing. We tried Twitter, but that didn't really.
yeah, Twitter's a mess. So,
We're the mess, not
well,
Twitter.
it's just there's too many platforms to really take care of. But I really like Instagram because you can be working on something, take a picture of it,
Right.
and send it on out. So that's great. So
We
look
have
for
a
us there.
Facebook page too, but that's kind of a mess too.
We do. Yes, we do have a Facebook page as well. That's a Heidi thing. So she takes care of the Facebook
Yeah.
page. All right. Okay. Well, we won't keep you any longer.
Right.
Have a
Good
great.
night, good morning.
Yes,
good
great rest of your day,
afternoon.
morning,
Yeah,
evening,
great.
whatever
Have a
it
great
is.
Day. Yeah.
And we will look for our videos coming out, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Thanks for joining us.
Safe travels.
Bye.
All right.